Welcome to the Mundeezy podcast. I'm your host, Emmanuel Munda. If you're watching this on Facebook, please like, share, and repeat. And if you're listening to it on the podcast, please hit the description and you can find out how to support. Also, if you're watching this on Facebook, don't forget to smash the like, hit the subscribe, and ring that bell so you can get the notifications. Today on the Mundeezy podcast, we celebrate nurses. This week is Nurses Week, and 2020 is actually supposed to be, or it is, the year of the nurse. As I go through my timeline and news feeds, I see a lot of people posting about how they want to get out, how they want places to open up. I also see folks posting how this is not as serious as the media makes it out to be. It's both frustrating and dangerous to see misinformation spreading, and even more frustrating and dangerous when people don't take it seriously. I preface these interviews with this because we are going to be talking to nurses who put themselves in harm's way to help those who are in need. Not because they want to be heroes, but they truly have a calling. I want to know what it takes to be a nurse and what these people are who these people are making a difference in so many lives. So first, up from San Diego, I've known her all my life because she's my cousin. She's cool like that. But she's been the nurse for a long time. She was actually there when my firstborn was born. Yeah, she snuck in. She didn't want to peek from the window. She opened the door. She came right in. Ladies and gentlemen, Miss Leah Stuckert. I wish I had an applause. Leah, how are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
I am hanging in there. Staying inside, staying close, not getting outside too much, but it's okay. How are you? How's everything with you?
Good. Very good. Kids good. And I are doing great.
Good. Tell us a little bit something about yourself. I mean, so we know a little bit about you. Like, how long have you been a nurse?
So this year is my 16th year being a nurse. I started my background as in cardiac. So I was a telemetry nurse for at least 10 years of that. Delved in GI. I was a floater at one point because I wanted to do other things other than just do telemetry. And then my last unit was med-surg. And now I'm a quality coordinator for my hospital. So it's a very new field for me.
Why did you choose nursing as your career? I mean, 16 years, that's a career and a half.
It started when I was in high school. It was my high school teacher, and I still have yet to contact him to thank him for actually sparking my interest. He was really, so nobody likes high school. Or maybe some people. I shouldn't talk for everybody, but he was like he just made it fun, and I just wanted to know more and more about it. And I just felt like it was something that I would want to do as a career. So it wasn't my mom. She didn't push me into it, but she was very surprised that I wanted to do it. So it's it was something I wanted to do. I actually started as a medical assistant. And then I got my associates, my bachelor's, and then my master's. So I forgot that I was also teaching at 2 different universities. So I've dealt in a lot of field. It's a really good field because you really get to do other things than just, what we all know as a bedside nurse. So I like it.
You like it? Good. I mean, if you do something that you like, it's not really much of work. You're just doing something you like and get paid for it. Look at me. I'm in a studio. That's actually not. But see, I'm honest, right? So, I mean, I know it gets hard though, right? There are times in which you're just stuck. Can you give me like an example of a time you just wanted to give up?
You want just one? So many.
Any example? I mean, go ahead.
Well, in a lot of fields, right, you have your up and downs. And I think a lot of nursing, because nursing really is physical, mental, spiritual. I mean, it delves into everything, all of your being, and it it's a little bit difficult because a lot of people say you got to leave your work at home, and it's hard not to at times, because you're dealing with patients, you're dealing with people, real people. So your question was what?
A time where you felt like you wanted to give up.
Yeah, so I a lot of times it's the the I mean, if you're dealing with something really difficult, if you're a patient, you get to really get involved with your patients. And a lot of the times it's either because you're dealing with patients who are having a really difficult time, so it's emotional. That's hard and taxing, and a lot of times I just don't want to do it anymore because it's just too hard on me. I mean, it keeps me up at night. I think about my patients, months later, I still think about them. Years, like I still think about my patients from year 2 of nursing. So it's that. And sometimes you're just tired. You're just so exhausted, and you're only 8 hours in and you still have 4 hours, or sometimes 16 hours, so you just want to give up because you're just exhausted. You go home and you just literally plop for 2 days after a 12 hours.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, I mean, how do you cope with, long hours? I know 12 to 16, and mostly on your feet, right?
Right. Yeah. I mean, I was averaging 15,000 steps according to my watch. So, yeah, it's a lot of walking, a lot of physical, but, how do I cope with that? Honestly, you get used to it. You just do it. It really is a special, I feel like it's a special field. It's definitely not for everybody. But you get used to it. Like I didn't even know what an 8-hour shift or 8-hour day is Monday through Friday until now.
Well, I mean, have you ever had the time where ever like is there ever a time where you felt like you were in the right place at the right time, like you knew that you are in the job that you wanted to do?
Absolutely, because I get to really make a difference for a lot of my patients. I really was big on being my patient advocate as an advocate for my patients. So a lot of times, um, you do have patients who come in and they really ask for your help and they just have no idea what's going on, and you get to walk them through what's going on with them and just kind of hold their hand throughout the whole time. So those are really the best times in my career, I feel, because I felt like I made a difference. And the thank yous that we get from our patients is huge. I mean, you don't expect a thank you at all from anybody because they're not feeling well. And really, they just want to get out of there. And I never take that I never take offense when a patient says, I want to get out of here. Okay, fine. I want you out of here. I want you at a grocery store and shopping rather than being here. So yeah, I love being there for them and just making that difference for them.
That's awesome. I mean, I know times have changed, since even before January, before December. So how has the current crisis with COVID affected you and your family?
So
From both nurse perspective and both a mom as well too.
yeah, I know my colleagues here is going to have a different experience than me, but I recently, like I said, I'm a quality coordinator, so I now work at an office. So I just recently transferred right before COVID happened. So for me, as a bedside nurse for so long, it was hard for me to move away from that and know that I'm not going to be able to help my fellow nurses who have become, pretty much my second family, because I was there with them more times than I was with my family a lot of the times when I worked on the floor. But how it's changed was when it happened, I'm basically on call. If a surge happens, I will get called and go back into the hospital. And I was just in the hospital. So I'm definitely going to be one of the ones who goes in. but a lot of it's caused a lot of anxiety, fear. It's hard on me because, of course, the first thing I think of is my kids. The plan is that my kids will not be with me for at least 14 days if I ever do go back into the hospital and have to do all that and have to take care of those patients, because their safety is key, right? And as much as we try our best to do whatever we can to keep ourselves safe, there's really no guarantee for us. So their safety was my number one priority, and it was scary. And I had a lot of sleepless nights, and I couldn't concentrate. I was still working, but it was hard to concentrate and do my job when we just really didn't know. I mean, you went from morning, they give you all the policies and what's going to happen, and then by the nighttime, by that afternoon, things have changed. That's how it all started, and we were just going with the flow and trying to do whatever we can, to manage our patients and to really do whatever we can for them.
Yeah, I've always seen this, like, if we're gonna say it's a war, it's a pandemic war, and you guys are definitely the soldiers that are in the front line risking your lives every single day. I mean, even if you're not currently a nurse, you're ready to don that uniform, put on the scrubs, the PPEs, and show up. I mean, I'm actually really proud of you, Leah. Look at this. I'm almost tearing, but it's really, I'm just itchy.
Almost.
Almost. So I'm going to end with this so we can move on and talk to the other nurses. But is there any advice you want to give to those that want to get into nursing? Because I'm sure there's a lot of people right now that are on the fence, especially right now.
Mm-hmm. Wow, that's a good one. Put me on the spot, why don't you?
I'm going to put everyone on the spot, girl.
All right, I'm gonna hold you up to it. Anybody who's thinking of doing it, I said it from the beginning, and I've told my students, I've precepted, I've told a lot of my preceptee too. Don't feel bad if you don't think it's for you. It's not for everybody, but it really is a rewarding profession. And also, I said that it's a vast field. So I love my frontliners, and I was a frontliner for a long time, but there's other things that you can do as well. I mean, there's not just the frontliners are not the only ones who are dealing with patients. We have our case managers dealing with our patients. We have, gosh, I forgot. A lot of other nurses out there. And you'll be talking to somebody else too who's managing patients as an RN. You'll see as you talk to my other colleagues here that there's it's a vast field. It's not just that, but if you're wanting to do it, it really is a rewarding field. But just know that it's going to take a lot. It's really going to take a lot of you. It takes a really strong person to work as a nurse. And my hat's off to everybody who's been doing it for so long. And it's a lot to learn too. I learn new things every day as well. So, it's really, I don't know, it's up to everybody.
It's hard but rewarding.
It's rewarding, yeah.
Thank you, Leah.
It's rewarding, but it's also hard, and it's it's great.
It's awesome. Thank you, Leah. And like personally, we have a lot to be thankful for you always being there, supporting us and giving us the call if anything happens. And every time we show up in San Diego, you're the first one there. So it's
aw, thanks.
Thank you so much. All right, we're gonna move on. We're gonna move on with thank you, Leah. We're gonna bring you back later on as well too for a little bit of round robin discussion. So we're gonna bring up a nurse from the labor and delivery department. I can say what department. I just can't say which hospital it is, but it's definitely a different aspect and different a different point of view of looking at how this crisis is happening and what it takes. And there's but she always makes the best out of it and the most positive things. So I'm going to be asking her about that stuff because it's fun. I'm going to go ahead and unmute her if that works. Where is it? There is it. Can you unmute yourself? I can't. There we go. There we go. Belinda Mendoza. How are you, my old high school friend? We
I'm
never really
doing
talked in high
good.
school, though, but it's all good.
Yeah, I was quiet back then.
You were the quiet type.
Yes,
How are you doing?
I'm doing great.
You're doing well.
I'm doing well, except for being alone in my room all the time.
Oh, that's right. I mean, so I'm going to ask some similar questions as well too. So bear with me. So tell us a little bit about yourself. Like, how long have you been a nurse?
I have been a nurse for 14 years now. I actually started as a LVN, so I guess 20 years.
Wow.
I started as an LVN, and after that, I got a full scholarship to be an RN. And I have been an RN for 14 years in labor and delivery.
That's great. I mean, so why did you choose nursing, and two, why labor and delivery?
Um, most of my cousins are nurses, and one of my cousins, she lives in Dubai, actually Abu Dhabi, and she's inspired me to be a nurse. Actually, she said, just be a nurse, they make money, you know, it's not like the one you see on TV, it's not that serious, we laugh all the time. She's an OR nurse, and so she kind of encouraged me to be a nurse. And also I wanted to move out of the house. My parents were so strict, and the only way I could be, you know, on my own apartment and everything, is to finish college. And LVN was only 16 months at that time. So I said, okay, I'll take LVN. All they do is pass meds. That's what I thought. And so I started with LVN, and I actually liked it. Yeah.
So what got you into labor and delivery? I mean, that's such a specific field.
Yeah, so because of my scholarship program, I was assigned to a hospital, and that hospital offered me a labor and delivery job. And it was so funny because when I was a student, I was on my labor and delivery rotation, and like, I would never be in labor and delivery. You know, like, oh my God, it's so bloody hell. But so they assigned me in labor and delivery. I was actually in nursing residency program, which is called Versant program. And it was like a 6-month program where they kind of reoriented us as a new grad. And we also get paid while attending classes. So
that's cool. So there's benefits to being a nurse in the first place, right? Or
yeah.
Some of the schooling is definitely a lot quicker.
Yeah, and at the end of that orientation, I was like, I can't do this. I can't be a nurse. I told them I want to give up, but they said, no, this is normal. So I worked in that hospital for 6.5 years. And since then, like, I don't want to go anywhere else. I actually tried to go to home health. It only lasted me 4 months, and I went back to L&D. Because L&D is a happy unit, you know? It's
right.
Most of the time.
You're bringing kids in, right?
Yeah, it's totally different unit from other units, you know?
Wait, were you in L&D in 2004 and 2008?
No, I started L&D in 2007.
Okay, so you weren't around when the kids were.
Yeah, 2007.
Just make sure.
Sorry.
So, I mean, like I asked Leah also, can you share a time where you wanted to give up being a nurse?
Well, like what I said, after my nursing orientation, that's when I was like, oh man, this is not for me. It's like really hard work, you know? So that's one. Two is maybe when I had a bad night, you know, like, which is not, I can't really think of much. I wanted to give up nursing. I really like it, you know, because you kind of suffer I work 12-hour shift, 3 days a week. So you kind of suffer for 3 days, and then here you go with 4 days off. So it's kind of like, I kind of like cope with it. And if I'm having a hard time, like maybe last night,
Yeah.
we were so busy. I kind of make it comedic, you know, I kind of make fun of it, you know? So instead of like, oh my God, this is so stressful,
use it as a comedy. That's my kind of like self-defense.
That's called being cynical, but that's good. Seriously, looking at death
Well,
in
I
a
don't.
good way.
Yeah, but I don't say that to patient. But actually, it was busy last night, but I had a great bonding with my patients. She was in pain, and instead of to take her mind out of pain, it's like, so how'd you guys meet, you and your husband? And it was a great story. And then she forgot about her pain. So that's the kind of nursing that I really enjoy, is to bond with different people and hear their stories, and good stories. And
So there's definitely so much rewards. So so can you give me an example of a time where you felt like you were in the right place at the right time and you were doing what you love, as a career?
Like, I guess just simply talking to my patient and get to know them. I learn a lot from them. Like, I learned where to buy toilet papers. So yeah, I guess learning from them, and like what I said, labor and delivery is kind of like the rewarding unit. It's different, but we do have critical cases, of course, like like in urgent cases, we have to get the baby out in 10 minutes. So you have to think fast, you have to act fast, and that's the thing that they don't like about labor and delivery. It's like, oh my God, it's like life and death situation. It's kind of like ER.
You can go 0 to 100. Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, 0 to 100. Yeah.
I remember my daughter's birth. We were in labor delivery for 15 minutes before so it was that quick. It was like,
yeah.
Oh, let's check you. She's coming out. I barely put on my mask, and then I heard her crying in the other room already.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it was like, is that quick? And I can see how, and it was 6 a.m.
Yeah.
So everybody was, ready to get off shift already too.
Yeah. So it's kind of like you're just, watching the patient on the monitor, and all of a sudden, boom, you have to get up. And,
right.
Yeah.
Oh, so during this current crisis, and you work in labor and delivery, so you do meet some very susceptible people. How has that affected you in work-wise as well as home-wise?
Work-wise, of course, it affected us because we have to reuse N95, which is, back then, it was a no-no. Once you use the mask, you gotta throw it away. But it kind of changes our perspective, and it kind of changes a rule. At home, it's a bit different. As soon as I found out about this COVID, I started isolating myself from my family. The reason is you don't know if you have COVID or not. So I don't know if I have COVID or not. I take care of patients who could have COVID or not, So once I get home, I take a shower and I stay in my room. I haven't been in my room for 7 weeks now. So that kind of really affected my family. I don't really see them, actually. The only time I saw them was my, son's birthday. So I had to take a shower. I have my mask on while I was, videotaping him, opening his gifts, and yeah.
Yeah, no, I've seen some of your posts where you're just like taking a video of them
from
playing
the balcony.
In the backyard. I know.
Yeah.
And it's just, this is what I'm talking about, where it just breaks my heart to see the struggles that you guys are facing, and people are just literally tossing it away, where it's, oh, it's not that serious. We're just gonna go out and do whatever, and it's just like,
it's very serious, because I've never say rest in peace and condolences like this often on Facebook and personal.
Yeah.
So,
and I guess once the circle gets tighter and it's somebody, but as a nurse, I'm sure that you're already seeing the personal effects just directly to you. So the one thing I wanted to ask you, because you every single post in the morning, it's you in line at some other place getting free stuff. So tell us some of the freebies that you're getting. This crisis can be really sad, but you are funny about it. I mean, this stuff, it's like, yeah, another dozen donuts.
Ah. So there's actually a website with like hundreds of freebies for healthcare workers and frontliners. So the only thing I'm concentrating on is like the food and the eating active, because some of them are hard. Like to get like shoes from Crocs, you have to fall in line on, I guess, on a computer for like an hour or two, and you may not even get in. So some of the free stuff that I know are free shoes from Crocs, 50% off in Burton, that we already took advantage of, 50% off on other stuff like major companies. But I have been taking advantage of the free Krispy Kreme donuts because I love donuts. So every Monday for 24 hours, we get free up to 5 dozens of Krispy Kreme donuts. Yeah, 5 dozens. So 5 boxes of Krispy Kreme donuts for free.
Yeah, I'm in the wrong field. Leah, can I borrow your ID?
Yeah, but of course, I mean, the Krispy Kreme donuts that I've been going to are close to the hospital, so they only allow 1 box, but 1 box is 12 donuts, and my family were actually like, come on, no more donuts, Mom.
Wait, didn't you also do like a McDonald's run?
Oh
like
yeah, so the McDonald's one was free breakfast, lunch, and dinner every day, and it just ended on May 5th. So
they better extend that, sucker.
Yeah, after work, I go to get my breakfast, and I'm kind of like a pescatarian now. I don't eat meat anymore, so I get the filet-o-fish, and I'm like, oh my God, this is good. I never had it before. So, yeah, I took advantage of the free stuff.
Would you mind sharing that website for some of our healthcare workers that need that?
That was actually one of my projects from my coworkers. They were like, Belle, you should share that website. I'm like, okay, I'll do it, and I just forgot. But yeah, I will do it tonight actually.
All right, so type it in the comment later on, and so people can get to it. So I mean, do you have any advice for people that want to be a nurse? Definitely,
I think you should do it. Like anyone who's thinking about being a nurse, just do it. If you don't like nursing is so broad. If you don't like nursing and said, oh shoot, I don't like to be a nurse, I want to be, working in a computer, you can be a nursing informatics. Okay, and if you want to be in leadership, you can be nursing leadership. There's a MSN called Healthcare Administration and Leadership, which is I'm actually taking right now. If you want to be in law, there's also legal nurses. If you want to just work in an office, there are office nurses who works in an insurance company. If you like to see people at their home, there's home health nurse. There's so many kinds of nursing that you could do. But if you have doubt, just do it. Because if you're just gonna keep thinking, should I do it? You're not gonna go anywhere. Just gonna waste your time thinking about it. Just do it. That's what I would say.
There you go. You should be a recruiter.
I know, right?
Nursing recruiter. I fall in one of those categories where I'm Filipino and nobody ever told me to be a nurse. Then again, the rest of my family and I are educators, so it's. You could be a teacher. You'd be a teaching nurse. That's right. I don't know. I admire what you guys do. It's because I can't do it all.
It's tough though. I mean, let me tell you, sometimes with a 12-hour shift, sometimes we don't get to eat.
That's true.
You have to learn how to eat in 1 minute. Eat lunch in 1 minute. Yeah.
Try to take some power naps, but you're going to be awakened by an alarm. Yeah. Man. No, I was actually, I spent 3 years in bio pre-med. So I was actually heading towards the medical field to be a doctor of some sort. Mm-hmm. All because my mom said I had bad handwriting. So I took it seriously and went bio pre-med. If I go back 5-6 years, I can be a doctor. It's ridiculous.
Doctor is hard though. They work 12 days straight, 24 hours. It's really just be a nurse. You get
just being
3 days work, 4 days off. And you get to go on vacation every week if you want to.
That's true. Well, I had that. I used to work that way, but I think I'm a workaholic. So thank you. Thank you, Belinda.
Which is good too, yeah.
I know. Thank you, Belinda, so much. We're going to get back to you again for a little round robin discussion. And I'll bring in a friend of mine all the way from middle school. And she works in the COVID unit for not a hospital, but a care facility. And we'll just talk. And Michelle has been celebrated recently for helping out so many people, and she coordinates all these nurses. And when you say nurses care, she's one of those nurses. Michelle, let me unmute you so you can jump in. Hi, Michelle.
Hi, how are you?
I'm doing well. And you look more relaxed now than you were earlier.
I know. I was able to nap.
You were able.
Nap.
That's
Yeah.
good.
Power nap.
Well, see, you deserve all the rest. We were catching up earlier, and you were just sharing a lot of interesting information about what's happening where you're at. So, I mean, how long have you been a nurse?
What, about 14, 15 years? I started out as a psych nurse, and I didn't for like 2-3 years. Then I had to stop because I had 2 kids, and they were just like, patients were just like beating each other up. And my husband was like so scared because I would be coming home and telling him all the stories. And he just told me, you know what, you have to quit. And my kids were like, my twin girls were just like 4 years old. So I left. And then I ended up working in a safer place, and I did home health and home health for a couple years. I was doing QA and case management. So it was mostly admin for like good 12 years.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, 12 years. And then I got bored. So I said I missed the bedside care. And now I'm working in a skilled nursing facility.
So why did you get into nursing in the first place? You said you were a psych nurse. So what makes that
Honestly, I didn't want to be a nurse. I was forced to be a nurse. My mom wanted me to be a nurse, and I had no choice because she was going to be paying for my tuition. And again, like other teenagers, I wanted to leave the house right away. So that was my only way out, was to go to school and finish.
So I sense the pattern here.
I didn't want to be. I didn't want to be a teacher that time. I wanted to be a teacher.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, but then again, you know, once you're there, it's different. It's a very rewarding job.
So, what exactly is your position? I mean, you don't have to tell us what your hospital, what facility you're working at, but what exactly do you do?
DSD. Director of Staff Development.
So you work directly with the nurses?
With the nurses.
Oh, wow.
So more of like a educator, and also do the the infectious preventionists.
Oh, okay. So I think
that's
where
this year was crazy. I actually just started like last September when our DSD quit. They had no one else to, actually he retired, and they had no one else to put. So they're like, you know what, Michelle, just take it. So I was like, okay, fine, I will. Because it was like a 5-day, 5 days, and it was like, 8-hour shift. It was easier for me to manage, especially, I have a 2-year-old and teenagers. I was like, okay, fine, I'll take it. Then this happened, and then they needed me on the floor.
Wow. And so you donned the scrubs and went back in as a nurse, right?
Yep. I had to, when we were really hoping that we were never going to open our COVID unit. But then, 2, 3, 4 weeks ago, we had residents that tested positive. So, I'm sorry?
No, go ahead.
Now, because I'm in the infection department, I had to run that unit.
So I mean, what has changed as far as your life and you know, being a mom and your family? What have you had to do to still be able to do your job and still manage your home?
I'm actually staying in a hotel. I've been staying here for about going on my 4th week, I think.
Wow.
I mean, it's really hard. My house is just like 5-10 minutes away. So what I do, I just drive by and I would call them and say, look out the window, mommy's passing by. So we just wave or, stuff like that. Then my daughter, 16-year-old, calls me and tells me, Mom, you know what? You're traumatizing my little boy because he's always looking for you at night. Every time you pass by, he's just waiting by the door. So I stopped doing that and it's mostly FaceTime now.
Well, I mean, I'm glad we still have some kind of technology to
right, exactly.
And then that's a big change to. I know Belinda was pretty much living in her own room, and then you're actually having to live in a separate hotel.
My son's a mama's boy, so every time he sees me, he has to like come and hug me, and like it's really hard. Or when I'm wearing a mask, I mean, I tried it for like a couple of days. Like he would like pull down my mask, and so it's hard.
So that's just the other thing I wanted to ask, and we'll probably ask the others as well too later on. Where it's when you do get a chance to come home, what are some of the things that you have to do to just be careful not to cross-contaminate or to get anybody else infected?
I have to wear a mask. And then I try to be, the social distancing, like 6 feet away. So every time, and it's hard because my son would come running to me, and it's heartbreaking when you say, no, 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 no. And he has that look on his face. I'm like, oh my God, seriously? So, I have to sacrifice not going there as much.
That's huge. I mean,
yeah, it's really, it's tough.
You're not being sent off to a war zone, but you're sending off to be so isolated from everybody else. I mean, no one's blowing up anything, and you're literally having to keep from killing other people. I mean,
I know.
Just to be as brutal as possible. So, I mean, like the other questions, why? It was not white nursing. A time where you wanted to give up.
Oh, a lot of times. And most of them are like now. Like there are times where I just say, oh my God, I just want to give up. I just want to quit right now. I think I'm going to be okay. And I'll just come back when everything's over, just to be with my family. But then again, it's hard. I don't know. It's a calling. I don't know. So I really don't know. I can't. It's hard to explain. It's like something that you have to fulfill, and if you leave, it's just gonna haunt me the rest of my life.
So, like you said, it is a calling. You're doing it because you're doing it. There's no doubt about it. I mean, so on the positive note, remind yourself of a time that you felt like you were in the right place at the right time, like you're doing what you're supposed to be doing as a nurse.
About, like a week ago, we had good news that 2 of our COVID residents are getting better. They tested negative once, so we're waiting for the second test. And if that second test is negative, then they get to go back to the floor. So it just makes me and the COVID crew feel good because we actually were there throughout.
Wow. I mean, and you're in the position where you're looking after your nurses, your people.
Yes, I also have to look over, after my CNAs and nurses, just to make sure that they're okay, because I would be so guilty if they do test positive for the COVID. But so far we've been testing and they've been coming back negative.
That's great. And I think it's one thing to be having to look after patients, but to look after the people looking after patients is it's a whole level.
It's really hard because you have families of the residents like depending on you. Then you have the family of the nurses that's also saying, why'd you, do that? And why'd you accept her offer? Or why'd you, join the team or the COVID team? So it's really, it's like so much pressure.
But you're doing good. Go get some free donuts while you're at it.
I know, I have.
Yeah, go to that website.
I've been doing McDonald's. Like before I go home, I would get dinner and go back to my hotel. And then before leaving, I would go to get my breakfast. Then you have Starbucks too. You get free coffee for Starbucks.
That's right. That's cool.
Starbucks coffee, yeah.
See, so last question is, what advice would you give to somebody that wants to get into the nursing field? Knowing what you know now, and especially in a situation like this, it's like the military, right? You get to learn how to play with guns. You have to go to war kind of thing. So what would you advise anybody getting into that field?
If they want to be a nurse, go for it. Do it. It's challenging and rewarding. You'll have your ups and downs, but, just seeing the patient, get better, it feels good. Like you're always there. You're like the patient's advocate where you're always there for the patient, and it just makes you feels good.
It makes it worth it, pretty much.
Yeah,
right?
it's worth it. It's worth it.
That's awesome. All right, so I'm gonna bring in everybody else. So, they all want to go to sleep already. Wake up. All right, so Belinda and Leah, welcome back, guys.
Hey,
Hey, how are you? Oh my goodness.
Long time no see.
Long time no see.
it's time for us.
This will be your Saturday night drinking club once in
Right?
Water, yes, I know.
Yep, that's what I have here, water.
So I'm going to
but you can't see it.
Right here.
You're drinking
Here we
spirits.
go.
All
We're good
helping.
nurses.
Good nurses. Drink your water. Take your steps.
Here we go.
I wanted to ask all of you, we'll go one by one. We'll start with Leah, then Belinda, and then Michelle. After this is all over and you get to enjoy life as normal as it is, what's the first thing you're going to do? Leah.
I have to start.
You have to start.
Gosh. Well, today I already enjoyed the beach. So that was the only thing that I really, really missed. Being in San Diego, it's like a huge thing for me. But I think the first thing I'm going to do, if everything opens up and goes back to normal, I miss my friends. What?
Go to Disneyland.
I know.
That's what I was going to say. I'm going to Disneyland.
I mean, that's a little bit further for me. But my daughter did say that she wants to go to SeaWorld. So I'm like, what? Okay. So that's probably the second thing. But I do miss my friends. I'm an extrovert. So I miss my friends. So I just want to see them. Give someone a hug. I mean, we're Filipinos. We like to hug. So yeah, it'll be nice to just have some kind of a social event again. That's and true. Not be cooped up and have this.
Yeah. we should all be sitting on a sofa talking about this instead of being in. Yeah.
Right. I mean.
Right. Or eating somewhere and having a conversation.
Right? I mean, geez. Yeah, I don't know. I don't even know what that's like. I don't care about driving. I don't care about that part.
So what about you, Belinda? What's the first thing you're going to do when the doors can open and you can do whatever you want?
I'm getting out of here and go to Iceland. I'm going to Iceland. Actually, we have to postpone our cruise. We're supposed to go to Italy on a cruise in September. But yeah, if everything backs to normal, I'm taking my family on a cruise because that's my promise to my parents to take them to the Vatican City. They're very religious. So
That's good.
Travel.
What about you, Michelle? When they
I'm
let
going
you
to
go to the
Disneyland.
hotel room, you know what?
I'm going to Disneyland. I'm just kidding. No. I don't know. I miss hanging out with, going on date nights. I miss eating out, and I'll probably go out with my family somewhere.
That's great. So I'm gonna do this thing that I haven't done before, and so bear with me. This is called Podex, and these are a bunch of questions for interviews. And I'm just gonna pick a random card and ask a question. Go around, and you guys, I don't know what it is, but I already took out all the really sad and bad ones, so don't worry about that. Like, yeah. Leah.
Go first, man.
No. Well, I'll just go randomly. Each of you will have a different question too. So, Who are your heroes in real life?
My
I hope I
hero.
get sponsorship too, Podex.
Oh my god.
Yeah, who are your heroes in real life?
Oh man. What?
Say your mom before she gets mad.
I know, Mother's Day. So I mean, that's the first thing that comes to mind, right? It's Mother's Day. So my mom. Okay, so on a personal note, I grew up with a single parent because my dad passed away when I was young and 11, and I've been a single parent lately. So she's my hero because it's hard. It's hard being a single mom. So happy Mother's Day, Mom.
Well, you know what? I'll ask the same question then to Belinda. Who's your hero?
Same thing, my family. My mom, my dad. My dad cooks for us, by the way.
Wow.
Yeah, he cooks really good. So I feel like I'm eating in a restaurant. So yeah, my family as well. They have been supportive of me. And my husband, he's kind of like my other brain. So yeah, my family's, they're my hero.
What about you, Michelle?
My kids are my hero because for putting up with everything, especially my twin girls, they're the one who's taking care of my little one. So, kudos to them.
That's good. You get automatic 2 helpers, right?
Yeah.
All right, next question. I have to shuffle it just to make it look official. Oh, I don't like that one. And I can change it if I wanted to. If you can instantly become one, what would you want to be an expert in? Leah? You're drinking.
You know what? If
what would you
talking about now, I want to be an expert in infection prevention. Let's get something going for this.
Exactly.
COVID, right?
We can end this pandemic, this virus, find a cure.
Forget about Fauci. I'll take over.
What about you, Belinda?
I would be an expert on how to conquer stress because a lot of people are stressed right now and frustrated because of COVID-19. So yeah, I want to know what would be the best solutions for stress and on each event or each situation.
That's good. Michelle, what would you be an expert in?
Well, I was talking with Leah and saying to her, we just want to find a cure for this to end this pandemic.
That's so meta. It's like you want what's best for everybody. It's not for you, it's for everybody.
It's
all right.
First thing, we think more about other people than us sometimes.
Exactly. This is just too much. We have like innocent people that are the elderly and then oh my God.
Wow.
Yeah.
I just got chills. You guys are just so admirable. I mean, the mindset's different. It's not me. It's my patients and my family.
Yeah, it is. It really is.
So we'll do one last question. What are you most excited about right now? There's a lot of negative things happening right now, but what are you excited about right now?
I'll say something. What I'm excited about right now is this whole shelter in place have really given me the time that my kids have been lacking because it's such a fast pace. I mean, in the States here, it's so fast paced. We really have taken for granted quality time. And I've really taken the time to just like be there and be present for my kids. That's what I'm excited about, because like when we went to the beach, it's like, Mom, Mom's gonna be with us and we're gonna talk and she's gonna listen. So yeah, I mean, that's what I'm excited about. Maybe I'm made for shelter in place, but yeah, that's what I'm excited about. I just love the time that I have with my kids.
I thought you were an extrovert. But what about you, Belinda?
I'm excited about us still being healthy right now, sticking with the quarantine rules, and yeah, I'm happy that we're still alive. My family. I mean, I'm very sad about the other ones who lost their family, but I'm happy that we're still fighting for it.
What about you, Michelle? What are you excited about? The end of this thing?
Yeah.
I'm excited about the end of this thing.
I'm actually excited to see my 2 residents walk out to the regular floor.
That's awesome. So you guys have been an inspiration for me. I mean, in the last 45 minutes to an hour and all our other conversations beforehand, that I want to do something special to nurses, and I got approved for this budget, so it's all good. So each of you, I'm going to give you all like a gift certificate to Amazon.
Yay!
Yay!
It's going to be cheap, but it's something.
Amazon. They already know like my address. Like we're already like on first name basis. I mean,
Yeah, but now it's not. Now it's like 3 weeks instead of 2 days, which is kind of sad. I can't enjoy my prime anymore. So we'll give you. We'll hook you up with the Amazon gift card also. But since you guys are getting free coffee right now, but I'm still gonna give you guys all my a Starbucks gift card. So y'all have coffee on me because we're not gonna have coffee together anytime soon. And one of my shirts, I have a shirt that's on sale on the Shopify that I'm actually every single sale of the shirt on the Mundeezy Shopify market, all the profits go to putting together orders for a nearby hospital. So I put all that money into another fund that somebody organized to send food orders to our local hospitals.
Wow.
So
Nice.
and it says 6 feet apart is better than 6 feet below.
Correct.
I like that.
That's
Right.
good.
So I'll give. So send me your shirt sizes on the chat, and I'll get that out to you as soon as they can process it and send it out to you guys. Thank you guys again so much for all that you do. Please stay safe. For every time we pray at night, we pray for all the healthcare workers out there that are risking their lives. I know, Leah, you're comfortable at home, but at any time you're gonna get the mask and the PPEs on to go and kick this virus to the curb. And we're all praying for y'all, for your safety, for your family's health as well too. And one day you guys can just hug everybody. I mean, I'm like Leah, I'm supposed to be in San Diego this past weekend, right?
Oh yeah, you told me that, huh?
And I couldn't be. And all my travel plans to meet up with family members as well too have been thrown away. And we're all like to say, we're all in this together. I think if everybody follows the rules, Newsom won't be a jerk, and we'll keep everything open. Hear that, guys? Live. So thank you guys again, and yes, so check your emails for the lovely things that you're gonna get.
Yay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so
Nice
much.
meeting you, gals.
You too. You guys stay safe.
You guys found
Stay safe.
you guys found drinking buddies from now on. All right, so I'm just gonna do an outro, and then we'll talk a little bit afterwards. So everybody, thank you again for watching the Mundeezy podcast. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you're inspired by these nurses, by these warriors who are in the front lines and are helping out others. I hope you're also inspired by their hearts and why they do what they do, because it's not that easy. And thank you so much for watching. Please like, share, repeat, listen to the podcast, support if you can, buy merch. I guess I have merch now. And and spread the word. 6 feet apart is better than 6 feet below. Thank you all. Peace out.
Yeah.